Monday morning, President's Day, and surprising that some of the roads, like this one I'm on now, Route 43, is clear. Some of the roads I just came off of were not clear. 13 minutes away from my house, 26 minutes away from work right now. I just thought I would pop this on for a little video to show you what it's like when it's a holiday and rough weather. But it looks like they came out and took care of this road, but momentarily I will get back on side roads to go to work, and then you can see some of the, well, not adversity, but some of the different climate conditions or weather conditions. I'll just go with weather conditions. I'm old school, we call it weather. But a lot of drifting. They got the salt truck out, so a lot of the ground is wet. Not sure why that guy thinks he can go ahead and speed, because I'm sure, and now see, just like this road, it's only probably been touched once. It's snowed again, and people are just flattening the snow down on top of it. So I don't know if there's a sheet of ice under what I'm driving in, or on, not in. That'd be really weird to be driving in the road instead of on it. It is 6:24 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Ohio, Northeast Ohio. Probably at the bare edge of the northeast part, because I'm coming out of, well, there's Lake Township. I'm just entering Lake Township, so if you know the area, you know where I'm at. But I live in Plain Township, and my street's the dividing for Plain Township and the city of Canton, Ohio. So my kids used to get so mad when we first moved in there, because the Plain Township would plow our side of the street, Canton would plow their side of the street, so we had no excuse not to be able to get to the bus stops or to get to work, due to the fact that they came down and just cleaned the street. And it was like great for when it was the weekend, and then you could get out and get groceries and stuff. But if you wanted a snow day or a day off from work, wasn't going to happen. But then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but as the years, because I've lived there since 23 years. We looked at the house in February, actually. So, and I think bought it in February, or maybe April, I can't remember. But anyhow, been there coming up on 23 years. So yeah, it was like after a while, and when I say a while, I mean they did it for a bit, but I don't know if it stopped after 5 years or if it stopped after 10 years, because then all of a sudden we'd only see one plow ever going down and maybe salting a bit. But then I have an alley way next to my house that goes back into a cul-de-sac. Well, they were supposed to they took the area away from the person that the house I'm in is the original house of that area. They owned 5 parcels of land. I'm still on maybe a little more than that. But I'm still on 2 parcels of that land. My neighbor is on, maybe, yeah, it is more than 5 parcels, depending on how they cut it up. My next door neighbor, not that when she moved in there, but anyhow, she lives here now, so I'll just say she. Her house land goes from the front of the street back to the creek. Well, behind me is 2 townhouses they put there now, due to the fact that apparently, and I assume it had to have been the state that was going to do this, because the city couldn't come into Plain Township and say, we demand your land. So I think the state decided they were going to put another access route to Route 62, and when they tried or did some engineering to get over the creek that's back there, they decided, I guess, that it wasn't cost effective or something, but something stopped the project, and that person lost all their land. But I'm assuming, I don't know, I've never had to deal with that, but I always hear that you usually get the short end of the stick when it's an eminent domain payout. But anyhow, so yeah, back to, okay, so I have a cul-de-sac behind me, and for a while there was some young girl that lived back there, and there was this guy always with his snowplow would always come back into that cul-de-sac, plow that bit of road and dump a ton of salt, and then take off. So and it would be the same guy, because there'd be time, because at that time I was working, like, I think afternoons or something. So I would see him, because at first when I started working where you guys saw my last drive video, you see, you know where I work at. So when I started there, I was working midnights. So I'd come home and get the boys up and get them, to school and stuff anyhow. But so I worked afternoons for a bit. Now I'm on days, but anyhow, I would notice this guy, same plow truck and that, and I'm like, so he's just coming into the cul-de-sac, dumping, plowing the cul-de-sac, dumping salt, and then taking off and not doing the rest of the street. And I'm like, okay. So I don't know what was going on. I thought he was dating the girl that was living back there at the time, and then all of a sudden they up and moved, but then he kept coming back and doing the same thing. So I was like, okay. I'm confused as to why he was back there and only doing that when she no longer lived there. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe they never were together. Maybe, I don't know what his reasoning were, but I called and the only reason I called, if he would have done the street besides doing and I'm going kind of slow here because this is a curve and I don't know what the conditions are like. So, yeah, he continued to do that for a bit, and then so I took a picture of him, and so I sent it into the township and said, or the city, I can't remember which one it was, but I sent it in, and I said, look, this truck here, I said, look, he would just dump salt right in the middle of the road and not spread it anywhere. He just take the salt, just do a dump and then take off. And I'm like, what purpose does this solve when he's not even plowing the street? It's like, he goes, well, he's got to do, that's what they got to do. They got to empty out the thing, and they got to do it in a safe location. And I'm like, there's a park down at the end of my road with a parking lot. I'm sure they would love to have salt dumped on their parking lot and stuff. So if people do come down there for whatever reason, they can pull in there safely. I know some people like to sit in the park and eat their lunch in their lunchtime and that, but I don't know. I mean, But I'm like, it just seemed like a waste of time and effort to have a person in a plow not dumping that salt on the street and plowing. It's like, let's just go into a cul-de-sac, dump it, and then take off. So I haven't seen them do that for a while. I mean, me and the guy got into a little bit of a heated argument on the phone, of course, because I told him, I said, that was a waste of money and taxpayer dollars just to dump, which looked like, probably 5 pounds, 10 pounds of salt in one area. Now, I don't know what a grain of rock salt can do. I don't know what the dynamics, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know, when you throw, because I know when I throw a bunch of salt down on my drive, it takes a bit before it starts breaking it down. So I'm just thinking it seems kind of a wasted energy just to dump a ton of salt in one particular area and not spread it about. So that's why I was kind of irritated, because it's like, you could have made a little bit of an effort. If you're only going to do that street for whatever reason, at least do it properly. I have my vehicle in snow mode, and I barely touched the gas, and I felt a little bit of a tug. So, and I was at an intersection, as you can see, it was still covered with snow and stuff. So yeah, I'm driving back roads just so you guys can see what this looks like in different weather conditions, because I think it definitely wasn't like this when I did my last video driving to work. And I got of course a person right up my backside. I'm not going to do the speed limit because, as you can see, look at all this drifted snow now. Yes, somebody's plowed, but because of the wind and the way the weather is, you have drifts and clumps and new formed ice and stuff. So I am definitely not having somebody push me. And up on this curve, it's a danger, because I've seen several people end up crashing their vehicle on this part that I'm about to go on. So I am definitely taking it slow. So he can just, even the vehicle in front of me is going slow on this curve. See, sign even says do 20 miles an hour. And that's on a good day. 20 miles an hour on a good day. Okay? This is the curve. See how easy you could slide off? There's no protection. Yeah, let's put barricade all the way down by that guy's fence to protect his fence, but let's not protect the people actually driving on this road. See, I don't really feel safe on this area until I get past this farm, because it sits down low. Now, not saying I can't drive it, I just don't feel safe, because you don't know what the weather conditions are when you come through here. Until I see the blacktop again, and even when it rains, I will take that slow, just because you could hydroplane. That's it, buddy. Just go out into the middle of the street on your ATV with your little plow with no backlights or anything, and then have somebody crash into you because you're trying to plow your drive so you can get out to work. Which I see right there, a little bit of slippage, and I'm on a flat, sort of a flat surface, to be honest, and I had a little bit of slippage, and yet I'm in snow mode. So I am going slow for a reason. And then when you have people like that on ATVs using them as a mini plow machine, and they just pull out into the road, it's going to cause a problem. I'm done ranting, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, this is after we had severe weather warnings and stuff. And of course, it's President's Day. February 17th. It is now 6:37 a.m. and I'm 14 minutes away from work, according to GPS, and I'm 24 minutes away from home. I got 7.7 more miles to go, or now it's finally caught up. 7.2 miles to go to work, and I'm just gonna I'll go this way past the lake. I won't go through the farm and through all those roads where all the trees and stuff. I mean, there's trees all over where I drive, but the reason I'm not gonna go through that section, it's just a lot of windy back, even further back road, and I have to make a lot of turns and cuts and stuff. This is more of a, not that there isn't sharp turns like this indicates up here to do 20 on this curve, but it's more of a genteel curve on these ones that I'm going to be coming on, instead of right angle curves or turns and stuff. So as I start to slow to go into this turn, the guy behind me is probably going, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Well, right here, there's a drop off. I've seen a few people hit that telephone pole. That's why there's, another chunk of wood, dangling right next to it, because I still don't know why they haven't removed that pole. But yeah, it's like somebody hit that, obviously in bad weather. So it's like, people pay attention just because you're in a pickup truck. And I know I used to have a huge pickup truck. I drove a Ford F-150 XLT, full bed, full cab. I don't know if it was called a crew cab, super cab, but you could put 3 in the front and 3 in the back, and I had an 8-foot bed. It was either I think it was an 8. So anyhow, I would drive that on these roads, and that road that I said I wasn't going to go down because all the turns, I took the truck down that road and I slid off the road, and I wasn't going fast. I wasn't being a jerk. I wasn't doing anything other than just driving. I was below the speed limit, wasn't speeding or anything. And next thing I know, there was another car coming down the road, so I moved over a little bit to give them space to come past. And next thing I know, my foot's even off the gas, and I'm just sliding into a ditch next to the side of that road. The lady was able to stop her car, got out, talked to me, asked me if I was okay. I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." I said, "I just need to be able to get this out." So I put it in reverse and just punched the heck out of the gas and popped out of the ditch, got it back up onto the road, and no damage to the truck. It was just embarrassing that all of a sudden this big truck of mine just literally slid off the road because I hit black ice. I mean, yeah, it was conditions like this, but it wasn't that I saw snow. It was just, some of the area was clear and stuff, and I wasn't speeding up or anything. So it was just a simple fact that I just hit a bad patch of road and slid into a ditch. Was able to get it out, didn't need a tow truck or anything. Thanked the lady that stopped, asked if I needed anything else. I'm like, "No, I got my truck out of the ditch, so I'm good to go." So she got back into her car and took off, and then I continued driving home. But yeah, I've already passed. Well, I'm finishing up passing the lake, Wingfoot Lake. That's what it is, Wingfoot Lake. Almost called it a different lake, but it's Wingfoot Lake. That's the home of the Spirit of Akron Goodyear blimp. So, passing that lake right now. I know you couldn't see it due to the fact that it's complete darkness out here. Now it is 7:15, and I'm going to go a little different route, because the route I normally take, there's a big old hill up and down, around, and since it's backcountry roads, I'm not gonna, and it goes over a small bridge across the lake that there's not that much traffic that goes through there, so not a good idea at this particular moment to go that route, in my opinion, until I know the road's a little bit better. But yeah, there are houses back in there and stuff, but because of it being a federal holiday and stuff, some people may not have to work because if they're government employees, they don't have to go to work, or if they're state and local, they don't have to go to work. School is off today, so kids do not need to go out and get the bus. So some parents may have taken the day off because they may not have babysitting. So I don't know how many people would be coming down that particular road, so it's better to be safe. So I'll go down this way and go through the heart of Mogadore so you can see the downtown area. Well, you'll see what you can see, I guess, since most of this video is in darkness, and I apologize, but I just wanted to show you some of the road conditions that I'm driving through with this miniature storm that we had come through. To me, it really wasn't that big of a storm, but it was a storm enough that we got snow in Canton, and I probably should have started it back there, and so you can see all the snow that was in my yard and stuff. But it is what it is. So usually Mogadore, and I give them great credit because I don't know how they do it. They must tax the heck out of the people in the village of Mogadore to do what they do. But now watch it be today a different story. But every time that there's even a touch of snow on the ground, I can always count on going through Mogadore, and it looks like the snow never touched the road, because you can see snow in people's yards and stuff like that. Not saying they don't get snow like they're in a bubble or something. It's just the fact that their roads, when you hit their corporation limit, their roads are usually pretty pristine. So now, right now we haven't hit their corporation limit, so I expect to have this area still snowy. Now I will say I'll be shocked when we get up a little bit further and get in more into Mogadore if I would see more of this kind of coming through their streets. But like I said, they're usually pretty clean. Not saying I would want to eat off the road, but I'm just saying you can see the road. So I'm just saying that's what it is. All right, now we're coming into the Mogadore area, and I'm surprised there is snow on the ground, which, unless they had a late start to it, or, but as you can see, okay, here we go. There we go. Now look at that. How pristine is that? I mean, yeah, there's a few clumps that may have fallen off the trucks or whatever, but I mean, look at the job that their township or village or how whatever. I mean, look how clean the street is. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I can't believe how this is. It's just absolutely incredibly amazing. Alright, I gotta go down to 25 because that's the speed limit. But look at this. The street, now they're plowing and salting the public library parking lot. But yeah, the only snow that comes out on the street and stuff is because somebody's driven through their parking lot or whatever, and it's fallen off of their tires as they move onto the road. So I'm just saying, this is a very well maintained place to live in the wintertime. And this is the downtown of Mogadore that we're driving into now. There's a Mexican restaurant to the left there. There's a speedway, a dentist, the government administration for their local school district. There's a CVS on the corner over there, an old-fashioned clock. There's a bank. There's a McDonald's actually just down the road. So I will, and then up ahead there's some railroad tracks. But I will end the video here. Have a good one, folks. Bye.